Hey guys, how y'all doing? So we're back, and with this gameplay, I'm gonna talk about more of the basics of the basic, of just how to play the game. Because not everyone who's gone through the tutorial already knows how to play the game. So, let's get right to it. So the deck that I'm using is an experimental deck, so it's a sapling vampire deck. So it's more of my saplings for defense and my vampires are for offense, so damaging my opponent's life directly. Okay, so first you have to know what your opening hand would be. For your opening hand, it has to be a good mix of land cards and creature, sorcery, or instant cards. To be able to know that, you have to know what your deck is capable of. Because if you don't know your deck, if you're not familiar with your deck, how the hell would you be able to figure it out if the opening hand that you got is enough? Now, summoning. Summoning is fairly simple. So you have to know how much mana you need to cast a certain creature, like this one. So a Death Bloom Thallid requires 1 black mana source and 2 any other mana. So it's a total of 3 for you to be able to cast them. So once you've summoned your creature, it will go through a phase, like the status, which is called the Summoning Sickness. Summoning Sickness will prevent you from attacking on the turn that you summoned your creature. So you have to wait 1 more turn for you to be able to attack. But it can already block. So that's one thing that you need to remember. It doesn't mean that if your creature has Summoning Sickness, you can't use it to block. Right, what you just saw right there is an instant card. So instant cards, you can cast them at any point in a phase, be it your phase or your opponent's phase, as long as you have mana to cast it. Now, one thing that you need to remember for instant cards, it doesn't mean that if you have an instant card, you're gonna have to cast it. You have to wait for a perfect opportunity to cast an instant card. Depending on the situation, if the need arises that you already need to cast the instant card, then do so. But if you don't really need it at that time, then don't. In every card battle that you'd encounter, you have to analyze the situation. Don't go guns blazing, don't use all of your creatures to attack, don't use all of your sorcery cards, all of your instant cards just in one turn if you have the mana for it. You have to read the situation, not only your field, but you also have to read your opponent's field. How many cards does your opponent have still in hand? Does he still have enough mana to cast anything? So you have to read through those in order for you to get a grasp of the situation. And also for your field, you would have to know if you need to attack, if you need to block. Depending on what your creatures are and your opponent's creatures are, if you need to block, then do so. If you don't need to block, then that's fine, as long as you're able to read the situation. You can also make trick plays, or you can also psych out your opponent. Like this example, I have a forest card in my hand, but I'm not placing it on the field yet. Sometimes I like to keep those cards just to psych out my opponent, because your opponent would see that you still have like a couple of cards in hand and you're not casting them. Why? Is it because you have something up your sleeve? So it gets them thinking, right? So it's psyching out your opponent. You also have to know which card you need to use based on the situation. That's why, like I mentioned earlier, you have to know your deck. you have to know what your deck is capable of. If you're using a deck that was given to you by the game, all you have to do is just open it up, look at the cards, look at the contents, check what their combination would be, so that when you're in a match, you'd actually know what you're using. And one final tip, never forget to read the description of the card. It's very important for you to read the description of the card so that you'd know what their abilities are and you'd know how to use them. Alright, so I hope it was able to help you out, even just for a little bit, on how to play the game. So there wasn't much to talk about, rather than just the basics of the game. More advanced tutorials, more advanced ways to play the game, we will cover that in future videos. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll be doing a separate video for Planeswalkers and different card abilities, so please look forward to that. And if you've enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe for more future videos. Please leave a comment for feedback, or if you would like anything that I could cover for my next videos. You can also follow me on twitch.tv/Judge25. The link will be in the description below, and also for my Twitter page. And that's all. See you guys in the next video. Take care.